Hi friends, I'm Bobby. I'm back with another video for you. Today's going to be hopefully a quick video. I wanted to briefly go over some books. I wanted to give you guys some of my book recommendations. I know that we've been covering things about manifestation, law of attraction, and so I want to give you some other sources of reference other than just myself, even though I know I'm a wonderful source of reference. I'm sure that you want to learn more and to find things on your own. So I've picked out some books today to share with you that were really helpful for me as far as learning about the law of attraction, manifestation, and all of that good stuff, right? So the first book I want to share with you, I'm sure everyone has already heard of this book because it's been everywhere for a very long time, but it's called The Secret. If you have not read The Secret, go read The Secret. If you're not a book reader, then go on Netflix, and I believe it's still there. You can watch The Secret. They have a movie version, and the movie version is almost verbatim the book. So if you're not a reader, I would highly recommend that you either read this or watch the movie. This was kind of my, well, it wasn't kind of, this was my introduction into the law of attraction. So this book by Rhonda Byrne, it actually was a movie first. The movie came out and then she released a book. She's released many books since, and they're some really, really good books. But this is really the basics of the law of attraction and how the law of attraction works. It really talks about positive thinking. There's a lot of people in here who are very knowledgeable about manifestation. And there's people from all different walks of life. You've got spiritual leaders. You've got people who aren't religious at all, but it's a really helpful book. It's a very fast read. It goes really quickly, and it just gives you the basics. So kind of what is the law of attraction? What is manifestation? What are kind of the basics on how it works? This is the book that I would recommend that everybody start with. So The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. Pick it up. Start with the original. Start with The Secret. There's a lot of different ones. Start with this one. You'll be really glad that you did. The next book I want to share with you is actually a fiction book. Now, a little thing about me is if I have my choice between reading nonfiction and reading fiction, I'm always going to choose nonfiction. I struggle with reading stories. For some reason, I have a hard time getting into books that are fiction, that are just stories. I like facts. I'm kind of more analytical when it comes to the time I spend reading things. I just really like to read nonfiction. But this next book is a fiction book, and it is a life-changing, amazing book. It's called Alchemist. It is by Paulo Coelho. And this book, basically, it's a fiction book. It's a story. It's so beautifully written. But the message behind this is essentially, if you want something bad enough, the universe is going to conspire to provide it for you. So I want to read to you just the inside jacket, the description of the book. So this says, Paulo Coelho's enchanting novel has inspired a devoted following around the world. This story, dazzling in its powerful simplicity and soul-stirring wisdom, is about an Andalusian, I probably butchered that, Andalusian shepherd boy named Santiago, who travels from his homeland in Spain to the Egyptian desert in search of a treasure buried near the pyramids. Along the way, he meets a gypsy woman, a man who calls himself king, and an alchemist, all of whom point Santiago in the direction of his quest. No one knows what the treasure is or if Santiago will be able to surmount the obstacles in his path. But what starts out as a journey to find worldly goods turns into a discovery of the treasure found within. Lush, evocative, and deeply humane, the story of Santiago is an eternal testament to the transforming power of our dreams and the importance of listening to our hearts. This is a beautiful book. I've read it, I don't even know how many times. It's one of those that I always kind of pick up and read, once a year. It's a great book. So this one I highly recommend, The Alchemist. There's a really beautiful little quote here on the back of the book. It says, "To realize one's destiny is a person's only obligation." I love that. I'm going to combine two books because it's by the same author. These are both really good books. You don't need to read them both. You could probably just choose one of them. You could definitely read them both, but they are The Law of Attraction and Ask and It Is Given. And this is written by Esther and Jerry Hicks. Now, I must warn you, these are a little esoteric. If you have not heard of Esther and Jerry Hicks or the teachings of Abraham, you're either, going to love it, or it might be kind of hard for you to get into. These books are written by a husband and a wife duo who the wife began meditation later in life, much later in life. So this wasn't anything that she did when she was younger. If I remember correctly, she was in like her 40s or her 50s. I might be wrong about that. But anyway, she started meditating. And in her meditation, she was able to channel these lessons and these teachings from this entity, spirit, whatever, that they refer to as Abraham. And so these books are written by this couple, but it's the teachings of Abraham through Esther Hicks. And so typically what happens is she will meditate, and then her husband, Jerry, will ask the questions and then write them down while Esther is in meditation. And so these books are both kind of the same concept. They're about the law of attraction, and it really tells you what the law of attraction is and how to begin manifestation. So the back of the book here for the law of attraction, which is the smaller one, if you're trying to decide which one and you like a shorter book, this is your shorter book. The back of this book, it says, this book presents the powerful basics of the original teachings of Abraham. Within these pages, you'll see how all things wanted and unwanted are brought to you by this most powerful law of the universe, which is the law of attraction. That which is like unto itself is drawn. We've talked in my previous videos about how like attracts like. This is what they're talking about in this book. Here we go. I should have just kept reading. You've most likely heard the sayings, like attracts like, birds of a feather flock together, or it is done unto you as you believe. A belief is only a thought you keep thinking, and although the law of attraction has been alluded to by some of the greatest teachers in history, it has never before been explained in as clear and practical terms as in this latest book by best-selling authors Esther and Jerry Hicks. Here you'll learn about the omnipresent laws that govern this universe and how to make them work to your advantage. The knowledge that you'll absorb from reading this book will take all the guesswork out of daily living. You'll finally understand just about everything that's happening in your own life, as well as the lives of those you're interacting with. This book will help you joyously be, do, or have anything that you desire. So this is a really, really good starter book. And then this is kind of another one I really like as well. This one it says, this fascinating book by Esther and Jerry Hicks, which presents the teachings of the non-physical entity Abraham, will help you learn how to manifest your desires so that you're living the joyous and fulfilling life you deserve. As you read, you'll come to understand how your relationships, health issues, finances, career concerns, and more are influenced by the universal laws that govern your time-space reality, and you'll discover powerful processes that will help you go with the positive flow of life. It's your birthright to live a life filled with everything that is good, and this book will show you how to make it so in every way. So I definitely recommend these books. The nice thing with the style of these books is it's kind of a question and then response. So it's nice because it's really easy to pick it up and read it in bite-sized chunks. Sometimes, with our lives being very busy, we don't have time to sit down and give a lot of time to reading one particular book. And so with this style, it's just, little, like you read the question and then it gives you the answer. So, and both books are set up in the same style. All of their books are. Esther and Jerry Hicks have a whole library of books. They have a ton. But these two are definitely my favorites. So I would recommend one or both if you're curious about the law of attraction. This next book is an old one, but it's really good. This book was written in 1937. It is by Napoleon Hill, and it is called Think and Grow Rich. it is amazing to me. So I read this book. Well, let me tell you the back, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about this book. So let's see here. This edition of Think and Grow Rich is a reproduction of Napoleon Hill's personal copy of the first edition, originally printed in March of 1937. The most famous of all teachers of success spent a fortune and the better part of a lifetime of effort to produce the law of success philosophy that forms the basis of his books, and that is so powerfully summarized and explained for the general public in this book. In Think and Grow Rich, Hill draws on stories of Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, and other millionaires of his generation to illustrate his principles. This book will teach you the secrets that could bring you a fortune. It will show you not only what to do, but how to do it. Once you learn and apply the simple basic techniques revealed here, you will have mastered the secret of true and lasting success. Money and material things are essential for freedom of body and mind, but there are some who feel that the greatest of all riches can be evaluated only in terms of lasting friendships, loving family relationships, understanding between business associates, and introspective harmony, which brings one true peace of mind. All who read and understand and apply this philosophy will be better prepared to attract and enjoy these spiritual values. Be prepared. When you expose yourself to the influence of this philosophy, you may experience a changed life, which can help you negotiate your way through life with harmony and understanding and prepare you for the accumulation of abundant material riches. I read this book and was amazed at how concepts from 100 years ago are still very much applicable in today's society. And this book, don't let it deceive you. It's not just like this isn't a business book or a money book. This is a book that it's a spiritual book, and it talks about manifesting really anything, and it's all about your thoughts and how you think and how you can attract things to yourself. And it's not just about growing rich as far as money goes, but it's about growing spiritually rich. And it's an absolutely phenomenal book. The print is huge, so don't let it fool you that it's like a really thick book, because it's definitely, it's really big print. But there's just so much in here that's so powerful. As I'm flipping through and just seeing every place that I've highlighted, it's a fantastic book. So I would definitely recommend this, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The next book that I have on my essential spiritual reading for beginners. Ooh, that's going to be the title of this video. Essential spiritual reading for beginners. Okay. So this book is, this is such a good book. This is called The Four Agreements. A lot of people have read this book. It's so good. Let me just read the back for you. In The Four Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz reveals the source of self-limiting beliefs that rob us of joy and create needless suffering. Based on ancient Toltec wisdom, the Four Agreements offer a powerful code of conduct that can rapidly transform our lives to a new experience of freedom, true happiness, and self-love. So this book is based on 4 agreements, 4 laws that are truths. And it is such a powerful book to read. So I want to share with you what the 4 agreements in this book actually are. So the first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. The third agreement is don't make assumptions. And finally, the fourth agreement is to always do your best. It's such a beautiful book. And there are many other books that were written after this by this same author that kind of expand on the thoughts and the theories in the 4 agreements. But this book will really help you change your relationship with yourself. But really what this helped me change was my relationship with others, and the way that I communicate with others and the way that I interact with others, and making sure that I'm always being impeccable with my word, and that I'm not taking things that other people do personally, and that I'm not making assumptions, and that I always do my best. And if you can just live your life by those 4 things, you're going to be on the right track. This is a great book. It's a really short book. It's a super fast read. It's it's amazing. So I highly recommend this book. Final book I want to share with you is one of my personal favorites. This one's a little bit out there. It's a Buddhist book, but this one I have to, if I'm doing a video about my the best spiritual books for beginners, I have to throw this one in there. And this one is by Baba Ram Dass, and it is called Be Here Now. And this book is it's a great book. It's very beautiful to look at. There's drawings, and it's written in such an interesting way where it's, instead of reading it this way, you're going to read it this way. And it's just all these amazing thoughts and concepts. And I don't know if you're familiar with Ram Dass or Baba Ram Dass, but he was originally Richard Alpert, and he was a psychologist who was involved in some really major, important, groundbreaking psychological studies at Harvard. And based on his research and his studies that he did with psychedelics, he was actually unceremoniously asked to leave Harvard. And he found in his spiritual journey that he could achieve levels of spirituality and meditation and these amazing levels of presence simply through meditation, and that, you know, psychedelics were not needed to achieve these really amazing levels of consciousness, really, through meditation. And I keep bringing up meditation in these videos as a little teaser. We will get to meditation in another video, but this is a really great book where he talks about the whole concept is to be here now, to be present now. And so often in our lives, you know, we spend our time thinking about our past, right? Worrying about things that we've done, or things that we've, you know, regrets we have, or things that we wish we could have changed, or the good times we wish we could go back to. Well, that's gone. That's past. We're never going to be back in that time. And then when we think of the future, we're always either really excited about things that we have coming up that we get to do, or things that we're dreading that we don't want to do. But how often do you sit in your present, in the now? Because the reality is the now is all we have. This is it. There is no future and there is no past. It's always now. And for me, that whole concept of now is it's so fascinating. And I think it's such an important thing to think about. So I just threw this book in. This is a little extra credit book. This one's it's definitely a little bit more in depth, and it's a heavier book, I guess. But it's one that if you really want to really dive deep into spirituality and you know, manifestation, law of attraction, all of that's like really fantastic, but what's it all about, right? Like, what's the meaning of life? Like, all that stuff is great, but you can only have so many things before you look for something more, and something that's deeper, and something that's just more important and more meaningful. And so if you're looking for something more meaningful and a little bit deeper, then I would suggest Be Here Now by Baba Ram Dass. So anyway, that is my collection of books for beginning books for, or what did I say? I forget now. Oh, I forgot my title. Beginner books for spirituality, something like that. Anyway, so yeah, I hope that these books help you out. If you pick one of them up and you read them, let me know. I'd love to hear your comments or your thoughts on the books. If you've already read them, I would love for you to share your thoughts on them in the comment section down below. If you have books that you think are really important for beginning manifestation, please share them in the comment section. I think that would be really helpful. You may have picked up something that I haven't read, or that other people haven't read. And thank you for coming and hanging out with me. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.